All right, Wrestling family. So let's talk about this Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley feud. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you guys. At this point, they need to end this feud as soon as possible. Okay, like as soon as possible. If they could find a way to end it now and make it make sense in the story, I would prefer they do that. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Just end the feud as soon as possible. And I get it. I know this sounds very cynical and I sound like I'm being very negative. You know, people do those things to each their own. And for me, I typically come from the positive perspective. I usually just, get entertained by wrestling. I usually love this stuff. But hear where I'm coming from. I hate to see them take a feud that was once good and then after it's run its course, stretch it out even longer. Because it's like, it's not even necessary at this point. It feels like the last season of Game of Thrones. It feels like the seasons of The Office after Michael Scott left. It's like, why does this exist? And not only does the question of why does this exist come up, it's like, who is really benefiting from this? I feel like everyone involved is getting hurt from this feud. The only person that can really benefit even a little bit is probably like Raquel Rodriguez because they're building her up. But given what happened at Bad Blood with her being introduced or returning there, it's like, based on the fan you talk to, whatever they're doing now may not outweigh that. And I don't think them trying to find a way to build her up through the story with Rhea and Liv is really worth stretching this feud out for it. That's just my personal opinion. But overall, I don't see anyone benefiting, right? You got Rhea Ripley. She's looking delusional at this point because she's still going after the girl for a title that she keeps saying she never lost. And she's right about that. But after you lose against the champion in a title match twice, regardless of how you lost in that match, you shouldn't be going after the person anymore. What are you chasing after? She took your guy, she took your title in whatever way you want to talk about it. At that point, you got to move on. You got to move on. If this happens to you twice, then you got to say, life is trying to tell you, bro, it's not the time or it's not going to happen. You got to accept it and move on. And Liv Morgan, as the champion right now, holding the title, is getting destroyed week after week by Rhea Ripley. Over and over and over. And as this keeps happening, this feud gets worse and worse and worse. And I get that in the beginning, Liv Morgan, it made sense for her to be the cowardly heel, to run away from consequences and things like that. It worked for a minute, but at some point, you got to develop her character where it makes sense to where, she builds up a little bit more. Not saying that she can defeat Rhea Ripley one-on-one, like just straight up right now, but you got to get her away from Rhea Ripley because it's making her look worse and it's diminishing that title itself. Now, you guys know my rule. When I come up with a problem, I need to have a solution, right? That's just my rule in life. So in my SummerSlam prediction, I said that WWE needs to end this feud between those two women at SummerSlam. They didn't. We saw what happened. They didn't, right? They continued the feud at Bad Blood. It is what it is. I still feel like that match was unnecessary, but it was entertaining. And it wouldn't make sense for them to end it at Bad Blood since they brought back Raquel Rodriguez. So now that adds a new layer to this story or whatever the case may be. But if they ended it at SummerSlam, as I said in my video, they could have did it there and then did this redemptive arc with Rhea Ripley and then have both women face each other down the line at WrestleMania. Split the women up and have them have another match at WrestleMania for that same title. And when I say a redemptive arc, they could have done the same thing with Rhea Ripley as they're doing with another person with the same initials, RR, Roman Reigns, right? Roman Reigns was a heel. He won the title. He had the Ula Fala. He was the tribal chief. He had the bloodline around him. And now he's at the point where he's lost everything. And now he is at rock bottom at this point. Everything gone. And now he's a babyface. And now he's kind of slowly trying to build up and we're starting to see his character develop, which makes a very interesting story to see where he goes. What type of decisions he's going to make. This new formed version of Roman Reigns. And they could have taken that same thing and applied it to Rhea Ripley. Now, I know people will say, well, that's weird because they got two of the same storylines on both ends. Like, it doesn't matter. If it works, it works. Because Rhea Ripley has the same story. She was a heel. She became champion. She gained a group. She gained Dominic Mysterio, and now she's lost all of it. She's lost her boyfriend. She lost her title. She's lost the Judgment Day. The only person she has left is Damian Priest. And that could have been a thing that broke her down at after SummerSlam and then having her to kind of rebuild from the beginning and then kind of gain her confidence back and kind of reconstruct her character to something a little bit more interesting. So then at the point where she does face Liv Morgan at WrestleMania for that same title, She's a whole different person. How is she going to handle this individual? Is she going to come to terms to the things that she did to lead up to this point of her losing everything? Because she is, part of the problem of why she got to this point. Will she come back and be more mature when she faces Liv Morgan? And then it'll work out better for Liv Morgan because now she can face other people in her division that isn't as strong or as big as Rhea Ripley, where it would make sense where Liv Morgan could win in a convincing manner, which will give her more defenses under her belt and make her title run look that much more important, where it doesn't feel like the only thing that's important about her title reign is her storyline with the Judgment Day. They will give her something more to do. So now that she builds more confidence and she finally comes to the point of facing Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania, she's no longer this cowardly heel because she's had these matches under her belt. She's had these wins under her belt. So it would make sense where the battle between the two in WrestleMania would be a lot more even because Rhea Ripley at that point won't be like a goody two-shoes, but probably won't use like heelish tactics in order to win that match. Probably won't be too abrasive with certain things. But Liv Morgan at the other end will have so much experience where she would know how to reverse certain things or do better things in the ring, for lack of a better term. And that will make a very interesting ending to the story between the two of them. And that will be long story booking right there, right? That will be a great ending to their story, however way it goes. But the way that they're doing it now is making it worse for both people. The storyline's getting dragged out. Rhea Ripley is looking delusional. You're not getting Dom back. You're not getting the title back anytime too soon, and I don't think she should either, right? I don't think she should either. You got to give other women in the locker room a shot at that title. And the issue that most people had with Liv Morgan's title reign so far is she barely defended it. She defended it against Rhea twice. She defended it against Zelina Vega and against Becky Lynch in the steel cage match, and that's about it. That's about it. So I don't know, man. Like, they got to stop this. They really have to stop this feud just to benefit everybody. And I think a better story can be told with these women separated. But I don't know. You guys let me know what you think in the comment section. It doesn't matter what you think, and I don't mean like that. I mean, just tell me what you think. I'm not one of the people who get offended by people who don't agree with me or nothing like that. But just let me know how you feel. Do you feel like that we should give it more time? Because I thought that after Bad Blood that maybe we should give it more time. I don't want to be those people who kind of overreact before something unfolds. But after seeing what we saw on Raw last night and seeing how even what was Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez even doing in that tag match? Because even in that, Liv Morgan was getting tossed. So I was like, what was the point? But anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Salute, peace.